Midnight betrayal. The house was quiet, the kind of stillness that only comes late at night. I had just finished reviewing some documents for work and was preparing to go to bed. My parents had come to visit for a few days, a rare occurrence ever since they moved out of the city to retire in a quieter town. Rachel, my younger sister, had joined us earlier for dinner. She lingered longer than usual, which I chalked up to her enjoying a break from her chaotic lifestyle. I didn't mind. It was nice having family around. We hadn't been close lately, and I thought this visit might help bridge the growing distance between us. But something felt off. Around midnight, I heard muffled voices from the study. At first, I assumed it was my dad up late, browsing through his usual stack of old books. But then I heard Rachel's voice, followed by my mom's. The tone was hushed, almost conspiratorial. Curious and a little concerned, I tiptoed toward the study. The door was slightly ajar, and what I saw made my heart race. My parents and Rachel were huddled over the desk, papers scattered in front of them. My father held a pen, hesitating to sign something, while my mother whispered urgently. Rachel, with her signature smug grin, pointed to a specific line on a document, her voice soft but insistent. I couldn't resist any longer. Pushing the door open, I stepped in. "What's going on here?" They froze, like children caught raiding the cookie jar. My mother was the first to recover. She turned toward me, her smile forced and nervous. "Oh, darling, you startled us. It's nothing, just some family paperwork." I narrowed my eyes, stepping closer. "At midnight? What kind of paperwork?" Rachel rolled her eyes, her tone dripping with disdain. "Relax. We weren't doing anything wrong." Ignoring her, I reached for the papers on the desk. My father made a half-hearted attempt to stop me, but I snatched them before he could. As my eyes scanned the document, my blood ran cold. It was the deed to my house. My house. My name had been crossed out, replaced with Rachel's. "What is this?" My voice was low and trembling, but the anger was building. My father sighed, running a hand through his thinning hair. "Listen, it's not what you think. Rachel's been going through a tough time, and we thought this would be a good solution." "A good solution?" I repeated, incredulous. "By stealing my house?" My mother bristled, her tone sharp. "Watch your words. This is your family you're talking to. We're not stealing anything. We're just reallocating resources. Rachel needs help, and you've done so well for yourself. You can afford to be generous." I stared at her, disbelief washing over me. Generous? I worked my entire life for this house. I saved every penny, sacrificed vacations, nights out, everything to buy it. And you think you can just take it from me? Rachel finally spoke up, her tone casual, almost bored. "You're being dramatic. You're single, no kids, and you're barely home anyway. I'm the one who needs it more." I turned to her, my hands shaking. "You think you're entitled to my house because you need it more? You just got back from a luxury vacation. How is that someone in need?" Her expression didn't change. If anything, she looked amused. "I deserve it, and Mom and Dad agree. They're just trying to help keep things in the family." "In the family?" I laughed bitterly, holding up the papers. "By forging my signature? Do you even hear yourselves?" My mother stepped forward, her voice softer, but no less manipulative. "We're your parents. We've given you so much. This house wouldn't even exist if it weren't for us raising you, supporting you through school. Don't we deserve a little gratitude?" Gratitude. That word sent a fresh wave of anger through me. Gratitude? You think I should be grateful for you stealing my home? Is that what family means to you? My father finally spoke, his tone weary. "Let's not escalate this, okay? We were going to tell you eventually. Rachel's your sister. She has her struggles. Can't you just do this for her?" "Struggles?" I snapped. "Rachel doesn't struggle. She leeches off anyone she can, and now you're enabling her to steal from me." Rachel stood, arms crossed, her expression hard. "You're being selfish. You don't need this house. I do. Just sign the papers and stop making this a big deal." For a moment the room was silent except for my ragged breathing. I looked at each of them. The people I had loved and trusted my entire life, and felt nothing but betrayal. No, I said firmly. I'm not signing anything, and you all need to leave. Now. My mother's face darkened. You'd throw your own family out? Over a house? Yes, I said, my voice steady. Because this isn't just a house, it's my life's work, and if you can't respect that, then you don't belong here. Rachel grabbed her purse, muttering angrily as she stormed out. My parents hesitated, but when I pointed toward the door, they followed, their protests falling on deaf ears. As soon as the door slammed shut behind them, I locked it and sank to the floor, the weight of what had just happened crashing down on me. The next morning, I called my lawyer. I wanted to make sure my house was protected, that no one could touch it without my consent. I also installed new security cameras and changed the locks. Weeks passed without a word from my family. When they finally did reach out, it was through mutual friends, pleading for forgiveness. But the damage was done. I couldn't unsee their betrayal, couldn't unhear their justification for stealing from me. Rachel's life spiraled further, her entitled behavior alienating even my parents. They eventually apologized, but the trust was gone. And me? I learned a painful but valuable lesson. Blood might be thicker than water, but it can still drown you if you're not careful. When a late-night noise wakes her, she stumbles upon an unthinkable betrayal, her parents and sister plotting to steal the house she worked her entire life to build. Torn between love for her family and the sting of their deceit, she must fight to protect what's rightfully hers. A gripping tale of betrayal, resilience, and the harsh truths about family loyalty.